From the tips, I'm DA with 15-year tour caddy Mick Middlemo. We're just a couple guys that love to talk about the game of golf, both inside and outside the ropes, but we come at it from a different perspective. Mick,
Yes, sir.
how was your week off? You took it like Rory.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
but
Ladies and gentlemen, the technical difficulties of being 14 hours ahead. Sometimes you hear them, sometimes you don't hear them. It is what it is. Well, let's see this. Let me try this. Mick, did you watch the tournament while you were off last week?
I watched all the highlights. Good. Oh, but that's why we.
Right now, I'm getting about every fourth word of what he is saying right now. I don't know what it is, but ladies and gentlemen, he is like, he's there. You can see him, and he pops in, but you don't hear him. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Mick, shift position in your chair. No, not too far. Not. Oh, my goodness. Where are you going? Get back. All right. Mick, are you okay?
Yeah, good. You?
There it is. We've got him. Beautiful.
Whatever you did, the background noise is definitely gone.
I'm pressing a bunch of buttons. That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out why it's doing what it's doing. So you said you watched the entire tournament.
No, I watched the highlights all on YouTube.
You watched and that's a promotion for YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check us out. Hit the like, subscribe button. Quick episode today. What did you? Okay, we've got some things we're going to talk about. Obviously, world number one figured something out.
Stop talking. It would have been a really good leaderboard if Scotty Scheffler wasn't playing.
It would have been a really good leaderboard if Scotty Scheffler wasn't playing. Mick, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's going okay. Better than Hicks.
He's giving the chance of field this week so far.
He's giving the chance of field.
Yeah, the field. Last I saw, he was +3.
Don't you think he's giving the field a chance instead of the chance of field?
Maybe that too. It's been a long day out on the golf course today.
My heart bleeds for you after my 13-hour night shift.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I know you're heartbroken that I got to go out and play golf and you had to work. I will say we played really well. We just fell a couple strokes short.
Who was in the team?
12 under. Now, Mick, I got to ask you a question. Have you ever played on freshly topped dressed greens?
Yeah, many times.
And what is the results normally of the putting on freshly topped dressed greens?
Bad putters putt well.
Bad putters putt. What happens to good putters?
They don't putt well.
They don't putt well. And when you have 15 and 20 footers,
you're better off chipping.
Yeah, you walk away with a lot of pars.
Yes.
Tee to green, the group did outstanding.
Who was your team?
So it was James and I. We were out there. Dari, the owner of RS Andrews,
yes.
He played really well today. By the way, he bought a new shaft for his Ping driver. Mick, this thing is a rocket ship. He spent like $500 on it, and I'm like, for the shaft. And I went, well, it definitely kept him. It kept him in the ballpark. That's for sure.
Had $500 shaft in it.
Yeah, and then my national revenue manager, John Molchanok. John is up from had traveled up here from Jacksonville. He lives. Him and his family live in St. Augustine's, and so he got a chance to get out and play. We had an absolute blast. We shot 5 under on the front, 5 under on the back. Very consistent. We put shots much closer to the pin on the front with it being top dressed. The back, we rolled in some good putts, but we fell two strokes short.
What golf course?
Country Club of Roswell.
Now,
Yeah, greens were course was in beautiful shape though. Again, tee to green, beautiful. Greens, yeah, they're hurting. So, but that was my day today. We've been watching. James and I, yeah, obviously came here to Twin Peaks in Kennesaw. We were watching the first round of the BMW Championship. We'll get into that. Mick, I'm going to ask you who is going to be able to reel in Scotty Scheffler, except for Scotty Scheffler himself. And last but not least, what happened to Rory last week? We will get into that. And of course, we're going to talk about our good friend Stuart Sink winning again. Great to see him back in the winner circle. So if you're good with all of this stuff,
let's do it.
let's grip it and rip it.
All right.
Okie dokie. What do you got?
Scotty.
What about Scotty?
Okay, I think like
I'm losing you, bud.
oh no, bad.
Bad. Yeah. So I'll start then. Obviously, Scotty, impressive win. Goes out and shoots. Basically blows the field away. 8 strokes. You sit there and you look at some of the things that Scotty did out there. He controlled the tournament pretty much from Friday on. I think Rory's comment this week at the press conference was spot on. If he's gaining 8 strokes on the field on the putting green, we're all, and I quote, effed. And he's not wrong. I mean, if Scotty's got his numbers dialed in the way, I mean, he literally was dropping that thing to within 1 to 2 yards of exactly where he wanted it, and then the putter was on fire. This thing is done and over. And we haven't touched on Player of the Year conversations because I think there's still a lot of golf left to be played here in the next 2 weeks. But he moved one step closer to securing another Player of the Year. What do you think about Scotty's performance at the FedEx?
That it believe probably when
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just look at what he's doing out there, and you just sit there and go, okay, who on that leaderboard last week is going to be able to reel him in the next couple of weeks, except for Scotty himself? And I mean, obviously today is a great example. He is yet to. I think he's found two fairways here. It looks like they're just completing the front 9 here at the BMW, and he is just struggling to hit greens in regulation, which is very uncharacteristic of Scotty. Mick? Let me ask you this question: let me just say it this way. When Scotty has that kind of lead on a Sunday, if you're coaching your player, obviously the big goal was to get into the top 50. What are you talking to your guy about, and what are you trying to do to reel? I mean, you're not going to reel him in at that point. What is your goals at that point?
Let's play really, really good.
Yeah, it's you look at what happens. Like you look at what happened to Rory. You could, I've heard all sorts of things. He was playing Memphis to knock the rust off. He hadn't played in several weeks. It was revealed, obviously after the Open Championship, and then one of the things that James and I talked about last week was his comments at the Open, where he's going to control his schedule, and the playoffs were kind of, like, hey, listen, I know I'm going to make it to Eastlake, and then all of a sudden, there he is. He's playing FedEx St. Jude, but it looked like, hey, I'm going to make a deal with Brian and the executive team. I will be in Memphis. I'm going to support the St. Jude. I'm going to support FedEx for all the things that they've done for us. But you could clearly tell Rory his head wasn't in it, and his game certainly didn't show up. Now, flip that to today. I think he's right now -5 or -6. He's right there, either in a share of the lead or one back of the lead. Where do you what is going to motivate Rory to win the FedEx Cup?
Well, I think I wouldn't say, you but like
Yeah. All right. We're gonna turn some focus now to actually what we were just kind of talking about, and that's the BMW. They're in St. Louis at a golf course that some of these guys have never seen. Last time they were, in St. Louis was 2018. Brooks Koepka, Mick, goes out to win. As they're at Bellerive this week, big boy golf course. You've talked about it. Alex has talked about it. James has talked about it. Horses for courses. Which which one of the thoroughbreds this week gets it done at the BMW? But let's do, before we get into who we are looking at, because picks are over at this point. You and I we've secured our spot in the East Lake next week. Really, it comes down to a 2-stroke differential. You've got Hideki, I've got Xander. We've got to hope our guys are playing well. Your horse is playing a lot better than my horse. But who are some of the guys that you've got your eye on as we get into the big boy golf course of Bellerive, and who do you think comes out on top this week at the BMW?
I think Rory tournament. I really, really do. I think it's awesome. Fourth best.
All
And
right.
I think I,
Yeah, I've kept, I've been watching some of the guys. Obviously, it's easy right now for me to sit there and say Gary Woodland because Gary Woodland is one of the co-leaders of the tournament. But Gary Woodland going into this, Gary Woodland has been playing some good golf here over the last several weeks. Um,
he had a great season.
Obviously,
Great.
he has had a fantastic season. It's great to see him. Just named this past week as an assistant on the President's Cup. Could still potentially earn his way onto the President's Cup team. Still with the way he's been playing. We'll see that in a couple of weeks. Obviously, I'm pulling for my guy JT Poston. He is sitting. Right now he's on the outside looking in at 32. The one that we were kind of there was a group of us here at Twin Peaks talking about the tournament going on, and one of the managers said, he's got his eye on Patrick Cantlay, and I kind of looked at him and I said, "Are you kidding me? Patrick Cantlay has not played good golf in the last month and a half, let alone is he going to even make it to Eastlake?" And he was like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "He's right now on the outside of the top 30. He is not going to make it to Eastlake." And yeah, he's played well at Eastlake, but that was the old Eastlake. We'll see what Patrick Cantlay, but I have no faith in Patrick Cantlay. Bud Cauley. Bud Cauley is right now sitting at 29. Ricky Fowler at 30. Obviously, for all intents and purposes, not only is he a good friend of yours, but he's he's just a fan favorite. I'd love to see Ricky again at Eastlake next week. And then you joke about it. Justin Thomas, the other JT in my life, so to speak. I don't think Justin Thomas is playing good golf. I don't think Justin Thomas is going to make it to Eastlake. And I'll be curious to see what the top 30 looks like next week as they get here to Atlanta. Mick, who do you see falling out?
Ooh, I see. Getting prepared, probably unprepared for that question. Honestly, I don't. I mean, I really don't. I haven't had a quick look. I honestly haven't looked at the 30. And I'm more sort of focused on the top part of it. I mean, I think I wish I was there. I wish I was there to see it. I mean, I think it's going to be an absolute battle between these two guys. I'm really interested to see. I think Adam Scott. I don't know what he's playing today. I don't know what his numbers are today, but it'll be great to see him back at these. Yes. Yeah, boys. But I think Adam's.
Yeah, you bring up Adam Scott. Adam Scott sitting 27th going in. I believe he had a pretty decent day today. I'd have to go look at the leaderboard. I don't have it up right now, but Adam Scott, I'm with you. Adam Scott would be a fun one to see. Yeah, it would be a real special for you to be here especially if with Rosie and Scott and Adam making it here. And Ricky, I'd be afraid I'd be afraid to see what that party bill would look like after we were done. I'd have to maybe talk to James about picking up the sponsorship on the bar tab on that one. Obviously we've got our picks in. It's easy to say, I'm with you. I mean, hard not to think that Scotty Scheffler isn't going to be hoisting that trophy next week here at Eastlake. We'll get into it in our tour championship show next week. We'll really get it into breaking down the top 30, the guys that make it this week. Again, I'm really hoping my buddy JT Poston makes it, but he hasn't been playing good. Hang on. Adam Scott is currently sitting -2. T18, that would be well enough to keep him in the mix for next week.
And I'm looking for the next. I have oil.
Yeah, well said. Well said, my friend. Okay, well, I promised you an abbreviated version because, and just in fairness to our listening audience, Mick he didn't take last week off. I'm jokingly saying that he took the first round of the playoffs off, knowing that he had already clinched a spot at East Lake with his picks throughout the season. But Mick's been working some overnights, late, long days, and so I promised Mick we'd make this an abbreviated episode this week. We are going to get into more of the talk next week. I'm going to get Mick to lock in his President's Cup picks, not only for Team USA, but the international team. And Mick and I will figure out who is. What's that?
I have a home on it.
There you go. There you go. So, with that, thanks for teeing it up with us on Tales from the Tips. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like, hit that subscribe button, drop us a comment, let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you. You can find Tales from the Tips wherever you find your favorite podcast. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and of course, now you can find us on the iHeart podcast. That's right. Just search for Tales from the Tips under podcast. Hit the plus button, subscribe, and enjoy. Mick, you can catch us on all the socials, Instagram, X, and your favorite?
TikTok.
That's right, Mick in the TikTok. He's posting videos all over the place. Not really. Trust me, we don't want Mick posting videos on TikTok.
Hey, is James there today?
James and Billy are sitting here. I've got a live listening audience right now.
Well, I know Billy's sitting down. He does everything. That's all he does.
He's right here. He's right here.
Don't you sit for a living?
Nick.
You told him what I said. He had to move across country to get out of work.
Billy has officially described your job as sitting on the job.
No. Looking for Billy.
Yes, you may find him with a cup of pudding if he's not sitting. The running joke around here today. A lot of really good. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the Atlanta area and you're by our Twin Peaks location here in Kennesaw or at Buckhead, make sure you check out the new food offerings that are coming in for the fall. It really is making Billy really happy.
Billy would love to see you with me. Tell him I sent you.
There you go. With that, you can catch this episode live on YouTube and on Twitch. That's right. We are now available on the YouTube Live. I see all you folks out there. Thank you for joining in. This is the unedited and crazy version. We let Slim do all the editing and put all the great graphics up, and we make sure that we hit all of our sponsor stuff during that. Mick, I know you're not playing a lot of golf, but if you get out there, we hope you keep your drive straight, your putt short, and your scores low. We'll see you next time on Tales from the Tips